Hey guys, welcome back and thanks again for joining me on Blind, Broken, and Blessed. I will apologize for the way I look. I had a late workout and I really wanted to get this in because it's been a couple of weeks since I have shared anything with you guys. I've been working through some things and developing a few ideas. I've posted on the blog page in writing instead of the face-to-face. So if you want to go check that out on Facebook at Blind, Broken, and Blessed, you can see some of the things that I've been doing there. But this is something that's kind of been on my heart and my mind lately. It's been kind of a recurring theme and over the years, actually. And I did have some things that were in the book, May Your Cup Runneth Over. And then I also have been reading a new book called Downside Up by Tracy Mitchell, and there are a few things in it that actually were very applicable to today's topic as well. So we're going to talk about a few of those things, and I'm going to share those with you, and hopefully by the end of this video, you will be able to take something away from it and use it in your personal life, be a little inspired or motivated, or you might be able to share it with someone that you know that is in dire need of it as well. So what I'm going to talk about tonight is chasing people, things, and just chasing a life in general that was not meant for you. I believe that we get so caught up in the everyday race of life, and we get so distracted by other people and other things. The picture that's painted for us of what should be. And a lot of times it's unintentional and it's done by people that are extremely close to us and that we love and value. And it's that they want the best for us. Sometimes it's that we see what society portrays as this beautiful picture of what should be. And so we run after those things and try to embody that or become that as much as possible. So we spend endless amounts of time, maybe even years, chasing other people, whether it be to try to find love in them, and instead of just realizing that that is not the right person for you, or that group of people, or they're just not the ones you need to be around, you continue to try to make it work with them, even though the door continually is shutting. So you just continue to chase that group of people or that particular person because you just can't live without them or without him or her. Sometimes we're chasing things. That could be a particular job that's just not worked out, but we're just not willing to admit that. It could be, I don't know, it could actually be money. I believe that a lot of people get caught up in that, trying to just get as much money as possible, and every single day that's what their goal is. And I'm all for working and providing for your family and making what you need in order to live. But I also believe that it can become a distraction. It can become an idol. It can be something that totally consumes you in a way that nothing else is good enough, because you're always so focused on trying to attain more wealth. Maybe it's a bigger house or a better car, or having the best clothes or shoes or whatever it is. I mean, that list could go on and on. The material things that you actually could get and put together, that's something I think that people chase after too much as well. Sometimes it's that we are chasing after other people's dreams for us. And again, I don't think that this is always intentional. I think that sometimes we have those people who are in our lives that truly see potential, and they have this picture of us that's painted in their minds, and sometimes they somehow influence us. Like I said, sometimes it's intentional and sometimes it's not. They want us to actually pursue those dreams because they think that's really what's best for us. They think that would be beneficial. They think that that's where we would reach our highest level of potential. And they're truly looking out for our best interest. But at the end of the day, what it really does is makes us totally disregard what we really need to be doing because we're too busy chasing after what they think is right for us. And so we get completely caught up, and before we know it, we're lost, we're completely confused, and then the life that we pictured for ourselves, or the life that other people pictured for us, is completely and totally distorted. And it's because of all the chaos that we have created through our own choices by chasing all of these people and all of these things, and chasing these, false dreams that other people have built for us. And because of that, we end up in this complete place of void. And at some point, the brakes are going to get put on, and we're going to stop running, and we're going to stop chasing, because we really don't know where to go. There is nobody else there. Everybody has left that we've been, trying to make love us, and trying to keep their friendship, and the things that we've tried to continue to attain and to have, and then those dreams that we never reached because we just kept hitting this wall. I am here telling you today that you need to have enough respect for yourself to stop chasing other people, okay? We're going to focus on that first. I want you right now to listen to me and know that, and this is not directed towards anyone in my life. It is just a series of events from the time that I was big enough to speak all the way until now. I can tell you that I am the type of person that I desire friendship. I desire love. I love to be around people. I want people to like me and to enjoy their experiences and their time spent with me. But I also can tell you that I very often try too hard, and I try to keep relationships going with people. And I'm not just talking about intimate relationships as far as or romantic relationships, whatever. I'm actually talking about friendships too. Y'all, I will be the one who will continually push, and then I end up hurt in the end, because those people, I mean, when the time clock runs out on that, they're going to move on. Okay, and no matter how hard I try to keep it going, if it's not right, it's not going to stay. And so what happens is I end up hurt and heartbroken and at a complete loss, thinking, what was it that I did? Why was I not good enough? What could I have done better? But y'all, you need to have enough respect for yourself, and so do I, to understand that if those people have walked away, or if that door has closed, then we need to let them walk, and we need to let the door shut. Because it was just not what is intended anymore for your life. Yes, they may have come into your life for a season, and they might have actually, sorry for that, I'm a little wiggly because my legs are kind of sore, but we need to understand that God brings people into our lives, and then He also takes those people away. And we need to also understand that He will bring the right people at the right time for us. And then when it's time for them to go, when their purpose has been served, He will, in a way that will bring us all peace, we'll have a good exit, okay? And if it's not supposed to be a good exit, if we're supposed to learn a lesson from it, He'll allow that also. We just need to understand that that is the way it's supposed to be, and not try to chase and force something that's not meant to be there. He will remove the right people from your life. He will also bring in the right people to your life for a particular season. But chasing people will only end in heartache. And so you need to understand that you are valuable enough, you are worthy enough, that you don't need to chase people. We're going to touch on a few things in a minute from the book. I want to kind of keep going real quick. Something else. First, I mentioned that if we chase other people, then sometimes we chase other things. So, I'm sorry, I'm reading my notes here, so I'm not making eye contact. I do apologize for that. Stop chasing other people's idea of who you should be, what you should do with your life, and where you should go. This is not the chasing things. That's the next one. I'm sorry. This is talking about when you are trying to envision yourself based off of other people's opinions or perspectives. And I completely got off track doing this one. And again, it's not, I don't blame anybody, because it is a personal choice. But I always valued other people's opinions so much that it caused me years of complete, I don't know, I guess you would say chaos. I was at a loss for a really long time. I actually just had to write an essay when I was reapplying for grad school, and the chair of the department just flat out said, he was like, "What do you want? What do you want to do? Don't tell me what has gone on in the past. Don't tell me what people think. Tell me what you want." And I sat there completely dumbfounded, thinking, well, I've never actually thought about what I want for a really long time. And I sat there, and then when I finally did grasp that concept, the words just poured out. And for the first time in a very long time, I actually did process what I wanted, and I separated what everyone else wanted for me and the picture that they had painted of what I should be and where I should be going. And I think that's where we all need to get. And again, I don't really believe that people have bad intentions and are trying to say, "Oh, well, you're not good enough, and I want you to become this." I think a lot of times it's just people, again, that really truly value who we are, and they see something in us, and they're like, "Oh, well, this would be so great, and really, I think that's not a good idea for you." And so they kind of pressure us. And because we do value their opinion and we do love them, and they are someone that we would consider a very close friend or maybe a family member of ours, then we are going to probably try to become what it is that they want in order to please them, and because we think, "Oh, well, they're probably right." But we need to, at some point, be able to separate ourselves and what they want. We need to step back and realize that God has a divine plan for our lives, and it is not based off of what those people think or what they want. It's not really even based off of what we want either, but God will use our talents and things that He's given us, and He knows what we want in our heart and what we would be good at. And what we need to do is just surrender all of that to Him, but not chase other people's idea of who we should be. We shouldn't worry about what other people think or where other people think we should be in our lives at a certain point. Y'all, I am not young. I'm still young, but I'm not as young as I used to be. And really, most people that are at my age are very established. They know where they're going, they know what they're doing, and they're already in their future. I am at a point now where I'm starting over because I spent so much time pursuing things and pursuing people and pursuing dreams that were not actually the path that I really believe God had me on. I can tell you that back when college started and the route that I was originally going to go, I really truly believe that's where God wanted me. And I let so many other things influence me, and I turned away from that. And then here I am 15, 16 years later, and I'm finally back pursuing the original plan. And I am at such peace because of that. And He has opened so many doors. He has let everything completely fall into place in such a beautiful and perfect way that it's crazy. And I think, what if I had just done that back then and blocked out everyone else and totally just discerned God's voice and God's plan? Imagine what I could have done. And because here's the deal, there's always going to be critics. There's always going to be people that are going to say, "Oh, well, you could be doing something different, or you could be doing something better, or you have the potential to be blah." But the point is if you truly have prayed about it and you have asked God for His guidance and have asked for Him to open the doors and close the doors that are right for you or wrong for you, then you can be at complete peace knowing that He is going to do that as long as you're completely surrendering yourself and your circumstances and your situation to Him. And then you won't worry about those other people. And again, that's some of the things that I'm going to talk about. I'll go ahead and mention it out of the book. I have it right here with me. I actually remember to bring it tonight. Downside Up by Tracy Mitchell. One of the things that she mentions in there is happiness is having a dream you cannot let go of and a partner who would never ask you to. I believe that if you surround yourself with the right people, they're not going to expect you to change who you are. They're not going to expect you to chase a different dream. They're going to support you in that. Now, they will be honest if they truly believe it's not right for you, but if it's God's will, you're already going to know that anyway, and so will they. I think there is one more. It says, a true friend will never belittle your dream or diminish your energy toward fulfilling that dream. And I also believe that's true. people who really truly are in our corner that God wants there are going to be in support of his will also. And they'll be our cheerleaders instead of our critics. So we need to remember to be able to separate ourselves from those people and their ideas and what they want for our lives. And then also, if there are people that are in our family or very close friends and maybe they do disagree with the route that we're taking as far as our career or our future dreams or whatever it is, and we know it's God's will, then what we just need to do is pray that he will open their eyes to that will give them peace and comfort, and that they won't let that be something that's a division between us and them. So just stop living for people. So stop chasing other people and stop chasing other people's ideas of who you should be and where you should be going. And then the last thing that I wanted to talk about before we get into all of the sources that I want to kind of give you and leave you with is stop chasing things. I think this is a big one in our society, strictly because, again, that picture that's painted for us in media and other things, the money, the houses, the cars, the possessions, and we get completely caught up in all of that, and people can find themselves seriously completely lost. They can find themselves in financial ruin. Some people just constantly are chasing after more. And I'm going to tell you that if you are one of those people and you're always saying, well, I need more money and I want more money, or I need a different car or a better car, or I've got to have the best clothes and the best house, and I need to update this and update that. Everything's always got to be better, and you always have to one up the next time. There is no amount of stuff that's going to fill that void that's in you. Every single time that you try to get more, you're still just going to be left wanting more. And I hope that you see where I'm going with this, because if the true desire that's in your heart is to have more, then you're always going to want more, and it's never going to be enough. More is never going to be enough. You could have the most that there is, and you're still going to have a void. You're still going to want something else. You're still going to think that there's something else to be had. And that is such a sad life. I have seen so many people that have lived that way, and they have never been fulfilled. They've never been satisfied, and they kind of live a miserable, sad life because they're not even able to love other people because they're so constantly focused on the love for these things, and getting more and having as much as they can. And so that it ends up causing a problem in the relationships in their lives. Generally they end up alone, and that is, it's devastating. And so if you are that person, maybe it's not people that you're chasing, maybe it's not other dreams that you're chasing, maybe it's things that you're chasing. I highly encourage you to step back and evaluate kind of where you're at and realize, is this really where you are? Is that really what you want? Do you really, you need to step back and see that the things that you have accumulated, while they may be great, if there's still that void there, then there's something else that you need. And I can honestly tell you that the only thing that's ever going to fill that void is the love of Christ. And which brings me to some of the sources from my book. And also, we're going to look at a couple of verses that actually were on my heart, and I wanted to share with you. Obviously, in all of these things, what we talked about is chasing something else, okay? Because we need, or we feel like we need it in our life, whether it is another person that we need their companionship, whether it is a person that we need their friendship, whether it is a dream that we want to achieve in order to make someone else happy or proud of us, or whether it is a lot of things in order to make us feel like that we have accomplished something. None of that's ever going to be enough. And if we do actually want to achieve all of these things, what we really need to do first is to seek God. And in Matthew 6, verse 33, some of you probably already know where I'm going to go with this. It reads, "But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you." If we will seek what he wants for our lives first, if we seek him and his kingdom, then he is going to lay out all of the rest of it for us. He is going to prepare a way. He is going to give us the things that we need. He is going to bless us in abundant ways as long as we seek him first. Another verse that I want to look at is Psalms chapter 37, verses 4 and 5. And it says, Delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart. Commit thy way unto the Lord. Trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. Delight thyself in the Lord. If you are delighting yourself in other people and other things, you're never going to find happiness. But if you're truly delighting yourself in the Lord, he is going to give you the desires of your heart. Does that mean he's going to give you everything you want? No. But the thing is that God will bless you in ways that will make you totally forget about what you really truly wanted in your mind. He knows what's really in your heart and what you really need, and he's going to give that to you. And he'll give it to you abundantly. And that's what the beautiful thing about that is that you can completely trust that he is going to provide for your life and is going to fill it and is going to satisfy in a way that nothing ever could, and in a way that the dreams that you have, you can't even imagine what he's actually going to make come to pass in your life as long as you're actually committing all of your ways unto him. The next one is in Matthew 6, verses 19 through 21, and this one goes with the stop chasing things. It's something that immediately came to mind, and some of you already know what I'm referencing. It says, Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor dust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. You know, if our value lies in the things of this earth and the material things, we need to understand that that's temporary and it's all going to be gone. It's just like it says there, you know, the things will rust. Thieves can break in and steal those things. We can lose the money. We can lose the houses and the cars in the blink of an eye. But what we can't lose are the treasures that we've laid up in heaven. And that's what we really need to be focused on, is what God wants for our lives, God's will and his way each and every day, and trying to lay up for ourselves treasures in heaven instead of the things of this earth. And like it says in the verse 21, for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. And to me, that speaks very highly of some people and poorly of others, because if you see that they're really putting their complete value, their trust, everything in things, y'all, that's where their heart is. And if you're trying to befriend a person like that, or if you're trying to win their love, you're never going to be enough for them. And if you are that person, then you are never going to have enough, and you're never going to actually have your heart filled. And so I encourage you to stop chasing after those things and stop laying up treasures here on earth, and instead laying them up in heaven, and know where your heart really needs to be. And the last verse that I wanted to look at is in Proverbs chapter 3, verse 6, and it reads, 5 and 6. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lead not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Don't look at what you think. Don't look at what other people think should be going on in your life, the path that they think you should be taking, but instead trust in the Lord to direct your path, and he will. Don't lean into your own understanding, but completely into the Lord's, because y'all, we can't even grasp the thoughts that he has and the plans that he has for our lives. It's this beautiful web design that he's weaved, and there is absolutely no way that we could see what he sees. And so we just need to completely submit and surrender to him so that he's able to use us in that way. And don't worry about what other people think that we need to be doing in our lives, because it's not about what they think. It's not about the path that they feel we should take. It's about the path that God has us on and wants us to take. If your focus for fulfillment is on things of this world, then you're always going to be empty. Whether it is people, whether it is material things, or whether it's dreams that other people have. And until you truly can embrace who you are in Christ, and you surrender to his will and design for your life, and you'll chase after his desire for you, you'll never find what you're looking for. You need to stop chasing all that other stuff so that you can find what he's what He has for you. Stop running after all of those other things and instead run to Him so that He can show you the beautiful plans that He has for you. Now I want to look in the book just briefly, and we'll wrap up the video for today with it. On day 45, I wrote, "To you I bring what is left of me. I bring all that I was, all that I am, and all that I will be. I bring everything to you and place it at your feet, surrendering to your will, your way, and your love." And I go in, I'm not going to keep reading right here. There's going to be a couple more things I'm going to read in this one, but I talk about how as humans, it's hard for us to completely surrender and give in because we like to think that we can fix ourselves, that we can choose our path correctly. And most of the time, we find out in a very harsh way that we cannot do this without Him. And I go on to say that God desires us completely to surrender all we are to Him. He doesn't care whether it comes in shattered pieces or in a pretty package. He just wants all that we are. And He can take any person in any condition, under any circumstances, and turn him or her into something amazing. He doesn't do it for the honor of mankind, but to bring glory, honor, and praise back to Him, so others might be drawn closer to Him as well. God desires us to seek Him for our needs, our strength, our hopes, and our dreams. And then I actually wrote the verse Matthew 6:33 that we read earlier. If we seek and surrender to Him all we were, all we are, and all we will be, He will do the rest. He will fill in the blanks. Life may not be how we envisioned it. It may not be when we desire, but it will be done. God will take all of you and all of me and make us whole. And then one more excerpt comes from day 58. And I talked about that, where do I go from here? And I'll try to read through this quickly because I really want you guys to hear all of this. 1 Peter 5:6 says, "Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, that He may exalt you in due time." Where do I go from here? That question has repeated itself over and over in my mind for years. It first appeared when high school ended and decisions about the future had to be made. That step forward opened only the door to endless more times that I would ask this question: where do I go from here? College, friends, career choices, relationship issues, marriage, kids, separation, loss, further education, and the list goes on and on. I'm sure those of you who are reading this have a list of your own. Since, I don't know, forever, I found myself searching for the answer. I've always had a hidden desire, but it never revealed itself. The yearning I had for discovery always seemed to be muffled by a temporary solution, not an answer. That would, of course, satisfy my longing in the meantime. Then another turning point would come in my life, another door would open or close, and again I would ask, where do I go from here? Spending my youth and now my young adult life in search of an answer I had concluded would never come, I got lost. I tried to answer the question and guide myself on my journey. And I sit here now, writing to you, still without a destination, but I do have an answer to the question. I have relied on me and my terrible sense of direction so long that I have failed. I got lost, and I couldn't find my way back out. I found myself held captive both literally and figuratively. And that's when I looked up and cried out, where do I go from here? There was nowhere left for me to go. And that's when He answered. After all of this time of losing my way, God was there waiting for me to ask Him what I had been asking myself and other people all of these years. The answer is one we hear so often, but we don't grasp the full meaning of the words. And God offers us this in Jeremiah 29:11 through 14. "For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. Then shall ye call upon me, and ye shall go and pray unto me, and I will hearken unto you. And ye shall seek me and find me when ye shall search with me with all your heart. And I will be found of you, saith the Lord, and I will turn away your captivity, and I will gather you from all the nations and from all the places whither I have driven you, saith the Lord, and I will bring you again into the place whence I caused you to be carried away captive. So all this time, I was searching. Now my search is ended. God led me to other verses, and although I read them and exchanged them with others tons of times, never did I understand until now. I finally searched for the answer with Him, and He revealed it to me. God really does have a plan for our lives, and He doesn't include constant pain, but prosperity. He knows where our futures lead, even when we choose unexpected detours that get us totally lost. He will lead us back to the place He planned originally when we go to Him and search with all our hearts. And as I sit here, held captive by my choices, I now have an answer that holds the promise that this captivity is not forever. Neither is the bondage my life has been held in over the years. The chains of my past decisions have been broken, and God is there waiting to guide me down the next road on this journey. He will deliver me from myself and whatever or whoever has or is holding my heart, soul, and mind captive. My search is over. No, I don't know what God's plan exactly is for me, but I don't need to until He chooses to reveal it. I'm certain He has a plan, and it will be one of peace and prosperity. For now, I'll just find comfort in knowing that my search is over. And what I hope that you have taken from this video and from these readings and these verses is that you don't have to chase other people. You don't have to chase other things. You don't have to chase other people's dreams and ideas of who you should be. If you will just totally go to God, ask Him for guidance, stop searching for who you should become in this world and search completely in Him. Seek completely to Him. Ask. He will open the door for you. He will show you where you need to go and what you need to be doing and who you need to be with and who needs to be in your life. And when you completely surrender yourself and your situation to Him, you will stop being lost. You'll be found, and you'll stop searching for things and desiring things, because your heart will be filled and overflowing with what God has for your life. I hope that you have in some way been inspired or moved by the video tonight. And if maybe it's speaking to you, I hope that you'll share it with someone that may be struggling with these same ideas or concepts. And just as always, know that I am praying for you. I'm praying for those on your heart, because even if I don't know them, God does. And He is using me, and He's using you through these videos and the blogs in order to bring Him honor and glory and to help other people find their way. So good evening, and may your cup runneth over.